I mean, just look at it. There's one looking right at me. There's the other up the top. They can't see me now. Great, this one's looking the other way, but oh no, now the other one's coming back down. And now they're walking away from me. But here comes the other one again. There just aren't any blind spots in this room where you can remain hidden indefinitely. There's absolutely no way I can get up there, disable the alarms and then get back out again without getting seen. Why have they made it this way? It's just impossible. Or is it? Greetings Commanders, this is StealthBoy and today I'm going to take on the impossible. Welcome back and welcome to my channel if you are new. Please do remember to like, subscribe and click the bell icon to enable notifications if you don't want to miss any of my future videos. Some of you may remember my very first YouTube guide, released way back when Elite Dangerous Odyssey was still in alpha test phase on the 17th of April 2021. The guide was called How to Obtain a Power Regulator Legally, sort of, and it was a short step-by-step tutorial describing how to infiltrate a settlement to steal the Power Regulator, a commodity which is very valuable for upgrading suits, without getting any kind of penalty or fine in doing so, and without needing to fire a weapon or kill anyone. I'd say that this is one of the fastest ways to obtain power regulators consistently in the game, because you can reload the game to reset the settlement state and so repeat this process as often as you need. Well, it turns out that some power centers are seemingly impossible to crack open without getting detected, and today's video will explore these scenarios. Why are they so difficult, and can they be beaten? These questions will be answered in today's video. Before we jump right in, I'd like to point out that you can absolutely get power regulators via different means, such as by completing missions or taking missions that provide you with a power regulator to use in the mission and then abandoning that mission instantly. This latter method is a bit cheesy, and it's only useful if you can reliably find these missions in the first place. They just aren't that common. And of course you get a 100,000 credit fine and lose reputation with the mission giver, so not ideal. The method I described in my first power regulator guide is reliable because you can just about guarantee a power regulator once every 5 or 6 minutes, which is about 10 every hour. Anyway, back to it. Does my very first video definitively cover all possible scenarios when you wish to steal the power regulator? Turns out it didn't. And there is one scenario that seems impossible to win. Something my viewers have occasionally pointed out, and something I've seen for myself, is that there are settlements that have 2 researchers working in the power center. In a moment I'll demonstrate why this causes a problem if you're looking to cleanly remove the power regulator. If your objective is just to stock up on power regulators, then this really isn't an issue, as my recommendation is just to find a settlement that only has 1 researcher, or even better, just find an anarchy settlement and shoot the researchers. But what if the mission itself is to remove the power regulator and it's a covert mission, doomed to fail if the alarms are raised, or it's a non-violent mission which will fail if you attack any NPC? Maybe you just prefer to avoid using violence anyway. Even worse, what if the settlement alarms panel, which you must disable if you wish to avoid raising the alarm, is located inside the power center itself? This is the scenario I'm going to cover in this video. Disabling the alarms when the alarms panel is located inside the power center where 2 researchers patrol permanently. This scenario causes all sorts of problems, not just if you want to remove the power regulator. First up, the entire power center room is a restricted area, so you mustn't be seen if you enter it. If you take any covert mission, and the alarms panel is located inside the power center and there are 2 researchers getting in your way, how do you manage to get in without being detected? You must get into this tiny room without getting seen and get up to the upper platform and disable the alarms when 2 NPCs are wandering about in seemingly unpredictable and overlapping patterns. I mean, just look at it. There's one looking right at me. There's the other up the top. They can't see me now. Great, this one's looking the other way, but oh no, now the other one's coming back down. And now they're walking away from me. But here comes the other one again. There just aren't any blind spots in this room where you can remain hidden indefinitely. There's absolutely no way I can get up there, disable the alarms and then get back out again without getting seen. Why have they made it this way? It's just impossible. Or is it? As you might have guessed by now, the answer is no. It's possible, it is predictable, and it is repeatable. You just need to have a little patience and an understanding of how those 2 researchers patrol the power center. The first objective is to clone a level 3 ID. In short, there are several reasons this is essential. Access to the power center and activating the power regulator panel require level 3 access, and activating the alarms panel requires level 2 access. You could alternatively use your arc cutter to break in, but this is extremely unreliable. If any NPC sees the damaged door panel, and one of the 2 researchers will frequently spot this. You could also theoretically use an E-breach to deactivate the alarms and the power regulator panel, but this takes precious additional seconds to activate, and time is of the essence here. Ultimately, the safest and most reliable method is to clone a level 3 ID. In this case, I grabbed the level 3 ID from a worker in the settlement's main agricultural processing centre using the skylight as an access point. Remember to avoid getting scanned by any guards, as this will mean you have to discard your cloned ID. Gaining access to the power center should always be done through this side door, rather than the front. The reason for this will be clearer later. The key to getting in and out without getting seen is timing. The nearest researcher, we'll call them nearby guy, moves between 2 spots on repeat, one at the back of the room on the platform and one directly in front of you here. The furthest researcher we'll call far guy, moves between 3 points, one on the platform, one facing you here and one where they crouch down in the far corner. Our objective, the alarms panel, is on the platform at the back of the room. So far as I know, there's no way to safely reach it without getting seen if you attempt to sneak up the furthest staircase. The only way to do it safely is via the staircase to the right. This is mainly because nearby guy only has 2 patrol points and is facing away from the alarms panel when they're on the platform. Far guy is looking at the alarms panel when they stop, so you have no window of opportunity to follow them as you sneak, which means you'd need to have some insanely fortunate timing reliant on both researchers being in the right place as you move up. This is not reliable. What is reliable is nearby guy's patrol path. If it were just them in the room, you could very easily sneak behind them, deactivate the alarms, and then sneak straight back out again. This means we simply must base when we make our move on what far guy is doing, but they're not synchronized at all, so how do we do that? As it turns out, they do synchronize reliably. This is the part where you do need some patience, as it can take a few rotations before it happens. What you're looking for is when they both start their patrols at the exact same time and from the platform. It's possible to just wait for this, and it will eventually happen by chance, but as any NPCs in proximity will often do in Odyssey, they'll frequently meet up for a chat. You're looking for when they have this chat on the platform, as seen here. And when they finish talking, they resume their patrols, and this means they'll be timed perfectly, ready for us to exploit it. Watch as they both wander back down their respective staircases and stop. Your moment to strike is as soon as they've both turned away again. Crouch, so you are silent, and follow near guy up the steps, making sure to remain very close, but don't make contact. Sneak right past them, and without any hesitation, disable the alarms panel by crouching directly in front of it. If you're not in front of it, you may have to stand to activate the panel, and this does take a split second longer and isn't recommended. Now, I've paused here. If you need to take the power regulator, then there are a few additional steps you must take before you're done. If your objective is solely to disable the alarms so you can complete some other objective, then you just need to sneak back out and off you go. If you want to see how to grab the power regulator without getting detected, then keep watching. Don't wait around, sneak right back down to the lower area and go straight to the power regulator panel. By now, Far Guy is likely facing away, but do check your radar to make sure. This is a tricky panel to activate, so you may need to stand quickly, but you've got time here, so don't worry if you do. Make sure you're crouched and move out of the restricted area immediately. Hopefully, you'll have remained undetected at this point. At this stage, you need to wait the usual 3 minutes for the power to shut down. As I outlined in my power regulator guide, this part is essential. You must make sure this door remains open, otherwise when the power cuts off, it's locked shut and you can't get out quickly. You can manage this by simply remaining in the airlock until the power cuts out, but this does mean you have to then sneak to the power regulator housing to take it when it's time. These additional seconds increase your risk of getting detected significantly. This is a neat little trick that will save you those extra seconds. Making sure you're out of sight of any NPC, use your overcharge tool to blow this doorway power conduit. This locks the door open permanently and won't get spotted by any NPC. This lets you vacate the airlock when you're ready, even before the power cuts out, and this can save precious seconds, as you'll see shortly. As close to the power cut as possible, sneak in to be ready to take the power regulator as soon as it's freed from its housing. As you can see here, I was able to move into position before the power cut, minimising the time I need to remain in the restricted area and so minimising my exposure. Get straight back out and don't look back. The settlement will be on high alert, but you should be able to get back out without getting attacked, and no alarms can be raised anyway. As you can see here, I was able to evacuate without getting seen at all. If this was a mission objective, then you're free to egress and continue to your ship. If you're trying to farm power regulators to upgrade a suit, then you can simply quit to the menu and return to the game to go again. As power regulators always respawn when a settlement resets, you need not leave the settlement to try again. Another great tip for those of you who want to practice this is to find an anarchy settlement to try with minimal risk if you fail. If you do mess up, then you can just kill the researchers and take the power regulator anyway. And it's the guarantee you'll never get fined because anarchy settlements have no laws to impose the fines. However, once you've got this process down, it means you can disable alarms and remove power regulators in what initially seems to be an impossible scenario. This will significantly increase the number of missions you can successfully complete in future. This concludes the impossible, not impossible power regulator guide. I hope you found this useful. If you'd like to watch the original power regulator guide, as it is still relevant if you wish to farm power regulators easily, the link is in the description. Do you know of any other extremely difficult scenarios that you've managed to successfully defeat? Would you like to see any guides if you're stuck with a particular mission? Please do let me know in the comments. Again, I'd like to thank the Burr Pit for their continued support in recommending my channel, and of course, thanks so much to all of my lovely viewers. As always, stay stealthy.